Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. I am Precious, and this is Daily Devotions with God and Broken Pieces. Today we are going to take our word that the Lord has given us from the story of a woman who experienced barrenness from 1 Samuel chapter 1, as you may also have been experiencing barrenness in one or several areas of your life. We are taking it from verse 5, but before that, Hannah was one of the two wives that Elkanah had, right? The other wife was Peninnah. Peninnah had children with Elkanah. Elkanah loved Hannah more, even though Hannah could not have children. So we see here that they used to go to the temple to sacrifice to God every year. And when they did so, we find their story from verse 5. It says, Elkanah gave portions to all of his wives, and he also gave to his children. Verse 5 says, but to Hannah he gave a double portion, because he loved her, though the Lord had closed her womb. I need you to take notice of that. Though the Lord had closed her womb, she did not have children, because it was the Lord who had ordered that. And I would like for you to have a reflection moment, a moment of reflection, and also just to go before God and ask that in areas in your life where you had been barren, was it the Lord who had ordered it? And if it was, what was He seeking to achieve with the barrenness that has been in your life? But we see here that with Hannah, what he wanted to achieve was a circumcision of the heart. Because what happens after Hannah had been mocked, after Hannah had experienced so much pain from the one who could give birth to children, because she could not give birth to children, we see here that she made a prayer to God. And this is where we see the effect of the circumcision of the heart, that he said, God, if you would give me the thing that I desire, I will give it back to you. But right now, what is most important to me is that I can experience what it feels like to carry a baby, to carry a child, and actually give birth to a child. I would like to experience what motherhood looks and feels like. And whatever comes out of the area where I have been barren the most, I promise to give that back to you. And perhaps that's where God wanted her to get to, a point whereby her need is aligned with God's need, and her need being met means that God's need will also be met. You may be watching this and you are looking for marriage. Is your marriage desire aligned with what God desires for your marriage to accomplish on the earth? Is it just about having a wife or having a husband and having children and having your own home and raising? Or is it about also allowing God to use your marriage to have impact in humanity? If you are here and you are looking to have financial breakthrough, and in fact you are looking to have experience wealth in your finances, is it because you want to also serve God with your wealth? Or is it for personal gain and strictly personal gain, and just go around the world and travel the world and have the biggest house and many cars? Or are you actually going to partner with God in the area of your barrenness? Let's have a look at what Hannah said. In verse 12, this was now at a point where she was tired and her heart was fully circumcised. And she said, it says here, as she continued praying before the Lord, Eli observed her mouth. Eli was the priest. Hannah was speaking in her heart, only her lips moved, and her voice was not heard. Therefore, Eli took her to be a drunk woman. And Eli said to her, how long will you go on being drunk? Put your wine away from you. But Hannah answered, no, my Lord, I am a woman troubled in spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but I have been pouring out my soul before the Lord. I had been pouring out my soul before the Lord and striking a deal with the Lord. Maybe the area of your barrenness is an opportunity for you to strike a deal with the Lord, that Lord, I have qualifications. and I have been looking for a job for so many years. I promise you that when I get to that place, I am going to serve you. I'm going to lift your name on high. I'm not going to compromise. I'm not going to get carried away. I'm going to be on assignment for you. I would allow you to use me. I will deal prudently. I will deal with integrity. I will move as a man or a woman of character. Okay? And in verse 16, she continued to say, "Do not regard your servant as a worthless woman. For all along, I have been speaking out of my great anxiety and vexation." Then Eli answered, "Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant your petition that you have made to him." And she said, "Let your servant find favor in your eyes." Then the woman went her way and ate, and her face was no longer sad. She knew in that moment, as soon as her prayer request changed, as soon as it moved from being all about her and all about what it will do to her or what it will do for her, and actually focused on coming into partnership with God, she knew that she had already received her answer. And indeed it manifested. In verse 19 it says, "They rose early in the morning and worshipped before the Lord. Then they went back to their house at Ramah. And Elkanah knew his wife, right? Hannah. And the Lord remembered her. And in due time, Hannah conceived and bore a son." Another version says in the same year. So it wasn't long. It didn't take long before the manifestation of her prayer. And she called his name Samuel, for she said, "I have asked for him from the Lord." And Samuel sounds like in Hebrew, head of God. It means that the Lord heard me, okay? The Lord heard me. And she says here, "I have asked for him from the Lord." So she understood very well that whatever it is that she's going to birth out after being barren for so long is not because her dream has come true. And if you think about it, the Lord closed her womb. It wasn't a generational curse. She was not bewitched. It is the Lord who had closed her womb, so that she can get to a point where her desire is aligned with the Lord. And we are so thankful that she did that, because she ended up giving Samuel to the Lord, and Samuel ended up being one of the great prophets in Israel. So many monumental things happened through the prophet Samuel. Indeed, he remained faithful before the Lord. So imagine if Hannah had not done that. God was seeking for a prophet that he can use. And so he was looking for someone he can come into partnership with. God is seeking for an upright man in the health sector. He is looking for a woman of character in the business sector. He is looking for a family that can demonstrate what it means to be a kingdom family. He is looking for a man and woman who can demonstrate what kingdom marriage means. He is looking for people who will partner with him and say, "God, if you give me this thing, I will give it back to you. I will run its life according to how you want it to be run. I will do with it in such a way that it will give you glory, and people will know that you and me are in partnership." So whatever it is that you have been needing from the Lord that you have not seen come to life, I need you to go back and evaluate and see where can you strike a deal with the Lord. Strike a deal with the Lord. Make a deal with him and see that if he will not open your womb. See if he will not expand your businesses. See if he will not do the thing that only him can do in your life. In areas where you have been mocked, in areas where you have been laughed at, in areas where you have been a joke, guess what? God will use that area and turn your story into a generational blessing, just like Samuel became a generational blessing, and today we are reading about him. May the Lord bless you. Enjoy your day, and see you again tomorrow. Remember to subscribe and share this video with everybody that you know. Thank you, and God bless.